Hi everyone. This here's a skull crawler sculpt I've been working on since I've seen the movie Kong, Skull Island, and it's all done out of Sculpey. This stuff right here. Let me pull up for a box. Yeah. So not the expensive, crazy stuff. And this wasn't too cheap. It was about $20, but 3 pounds. And you don't have to worry about molding. You just put that baby straight in the oven. Just keep it. Everything has to be under a 1/2 inch thickness, preferably less, so you don't end up getting any crackage and shrinkage around the sculpt, and then everyone cries when your thing starts disintegrating and fall apart in the oven. So I had to start off with a really nice sturdy armature with some pretty darn thick gauge wire, which was really fun to bend into place properly, and then bulked up with aluminum tinfoil. Just crinkle it up and then just tie that around the steel armature until you have what you would see appropriate before you start adding clay. So make sure you get that silhouette down really well. And first, when I sculpted this, I start off with the head, and it was really interesting. These guys have like this imitation eye, so I guess the prey or rivals, where they start scratching at that, and they don't really see that little thing. They have like these all really cool little bumps. Really, really awesome character. Really gnarly beasties. We got a pair of legs and feet. So this upper portion starts off with kind of a shoulder deltoid look. You got like these little biceps and triceps. And you got like this calf. And we have to start sculpting a little bit more muscular like. That one's got it going on right. And they have like these little elbow spikes. I'll do that last after I get all that taken care of. And they have all these really interesting, really nice, cool textures that'll be soon to come. But before I leave this video with you guys, I'll show you a little bit of a sculpting technique. So you see all these little tiny creases that mesh together, and there's a lot of ways to do everything. There's like one way to skin a cat, but with the right tool you can start off and save yourself a lot of time. So I just started doing a few lines, and you can go that way before I start on anything. So I just do some scribbles. Safety numbers. Gotta make sure that this thing looks like it's believable to have once lived. So you just dab several like that. I might actually keep this little texture, not just use it as an example. And then you take a piece of plastic, rather thin, like saran wrap, or don't drop it. Make sure it's kind of clear so you can see through it. And when doing like this, you don't make any crumbs. So you can make lots of nice folds. And these creases will be going rather lateral. So be doing some basic little cross hatches. And then go up a little bit. Very, very short and many little strokes. And then take that tool, my favorite little wooden tool. It's like a little wooden finger. And you can push it into little scales and scoots. Take your time. I do mean take your time. right? You're not going to be like Michelangelo in 15 minutes, you know. My God, this whole thing probably consumed about 13 hours already of sitting and sculpting. Probably 3 hours getting the armature right. Never underestimate an armature and how much time you need to spend on that thing. The more time you spend on an armature, the better and more easy this whole thing goes around. It really gets depressing when your armature keeps on moving around when you start sculpting. You spend more time correcting the whole thing than actually working and learning. So after a few strokes, you pull off the plastic. You have like this nice little horizontal matching kind of thing. Goes with the theme. So put that back on. So you pretty much get the idea. Push her around. Sometimes you can overlap it again, and you get a bit more thicker dents, and they'll be more smooth. They also have little wrinkles from the plastic wrinkling, and that really, really shows up very beautifully. You start developing a understanding of how much you can control this. Remember safety numbers. Blend it out mildly. You can have a nice, very nice texture that starts showing up. And you don't always have to go straight with the reference from the movie. You can go a little bit crazy. Add a couple little worms of clay, as I like to call them. Some people call them little burritos if you're from Mexico. Or you call them little snakes. You just do a couple of those. You don't want to just do 2. You need to do at least like 4. So it has kind of a blend. And this will be sculpted after the big guy, the big one that killed Kong's family. Put the plastic back over, and of course you can't see very well, so sorry about that. So you just have to try and guess where everything is, and start pushing around. I'll do this without the plastic first. Tap that. You don't have to go like really super careful with all your movements. You can have some movements that cover the bulk of the whole process, but you need to have some spots where everything's really HD. Like right here. I spent a good time making sure that all those bumps were really organized and, well, not organized, but, placed well, nice and organically. And nice little spot there, nice little spot there. This was all done in like probably about a minute. This was done in a minute. This texture was done by a minute. But having that little texture that spends a couple minutes, it adds value to the whole thing. It's like, wow, this guy really spent a ton of time absolutely everywhere. Like, especially on the eyes. Whenever you're doing a character, do not forget to spend plenty of time on the eyes, because that is one of the places where everyone's going to be looking. Making sure that your eyes are consistent before you dive into the textures of them too much. People really love those neck wrinkles. Ah, you like that. And let's just scratch it. Hurry up with the bulk detail. We got a few more minutes on this video. Yeah. Let's see. you can just do that, make sure to have a little, spend time on some areas here and there, and the rest of the bulk detail value will just like shoot up. Make sure you get your toes equally. Put the claws on. FYI, make sure that your toes are kind of, big like that, and they got a little bit of cushion on the bottom, and looks like it has just a little bit of structure, because that's really all toes are. Toes aren't pretty. Look at my foot. That thing's pretty ugly, ain't it? Not much of it. But it's just, little pads. Just a little bone going through it, and it's just got a bunch of pads on the bottom. So, when you think of hands or feet, you just really think spindly little accurate bones with padding on the bottom. On the bottom, never on the top. Just always on the bottom. So, hopefully you guys like this video. Hopefully I helped you out with it a little bit. See ya.